Video has emerged. Apparently it's from last year, but this is Prince William. Apparently he was out cycling with his kids near the Sandringham Royal Estate, and someone was taking some photos of them. I would have thought the royals were pretty used to people taking photos of them, but the prince didn't like it. Have a look.
Talking around here looking for us and our children. I went for a quiet bike ride with my children on Saturday, and you won't even give me your name. You're outrageous, you're disgusting, you really are. How dare you behave like that? So where have you come from?
I've just walked up from West Newton.
So why are you here? Thought you guys had learned by now.
Well, look, I would never get surprised at a father standing up for their family and their children and their privacy. But I suppose what surprises me, Liz, is that they can actually ride their bikes around a place like that and expect privacy. Why there wasn't security with them? It looks like the prince is on the phone trying to rustle up security, and you might have got the Victorian ambulance service because he wasn't getting much help.
It would be interesting to know the whereabouts of the taking of this, because it may well be that his level of disgust and outrage is linked to that. Was this some sort of private? Obviously, they have very extensive grounds. They are the royal family, and they could have been at any number of those cycling around, because that doesn't, and it is very out of character for the normally very docile Prince William, and they're very, very accustomed to this kind of paparazzi following us. But I think it's also pertinent to remember that he and Harry do see the Paps as their mother's murderer.
Yeah.
And this is very much a sore point for them, and they swallow it daily and you know, suck it up most of their lives. But I think when it comes to one's children, it's a whole different ball game, because they spent their childhood lives being those kids, and they don't want it for their own.
And you're right, his reaction suggests that it must be a place where he expected for this not to be happening. But then, Justin, that raises the question of how can someone be there? If it's just someone taking photos, that's a relief, because it could be a lot worse than that if people are actually getting access that they're not supposed to get.
Yeah, it's a good point. It feels like to me that there's a hell of a lot more to this story, and that this paparazzo did something. I'm not going to suggest they did something bad, but these paparazzi, they're awful. And a lot of it is not just taking photos of somebody when they're out and about. We've seen examples over the years of them saying terrible things to people just to get a reaction so that they can get the shot that they're after. I wouldn't trust them. I think this sort of section gives media a bad name. I dislike these people intensely.
Yeah, talking about giving people a bad name, Nick Kyrgios has gotten into strife at Wimbledon today. Let's have a look. I haven't seen this yet. This is Nick Kyrgios apparently spitting at spectators. Oh, yuck. How do we justify that, guys?
Bad
I really
form,
dislike
bad
this bloke.
form.
Yeah.
Look, it is Kyrgios. That's him in a nutshell, I'm afraid. He's always been a brat of the court.
Man, but spitting.
But I remember
spitting.
I know, spitting is next level. I remember tantrums from Andre Agassi, Pat Rafter, always found it hugely entertaining, but I don't recall anyone spitting, and I think that's what's gotten people really fired up. We're used to a bit of diva tantrum action, but yeah, going a bit too far, Kyrgios, as he always does.
Yeah, I think some of those others matured, though. I think of a young Andre Agassi and obviously also Leighton Hewitt, but they ended up being absolute gentlemen of their game as they got older. So let's hope Kyrgios improves as well. Thanks for joining us. Love the Wednesday Wrangle.